Is this like Warlock not been on my team every single game, huh? Oh, I missed him. Oh my god. You like that? Alrighty, guys. What is up, everybody? So, this is a quick example of what you can do when it comes to kiting there. So, if you guys don't know what was going on, let me just recap that super quick. I'm going to go over today some of the mobility that you have access to as a evoker, and then, you know, living while getting trained kind of thing. It's just so, you know, a lot of people have been asking, what do you do in that regard? So I'm going to show you guys an example of a game. But dude, do not forget about recall. Recall is phenomenal for kiting. We were taking an insane amount of damage here. I end up dream flighting back. I recall. Do note though, and then I come back and then I recall again. Two things really quick. One, you can run out of range of recall. So if I like went this way and I kept running that way, I could run out of range of recall. Two, if you do dream flight directly into, like, let's say I dream flow here and then deep breath that way, I can't recall all the way back. It like bugs it out for some reason. And then last but not least, take advantage of the time. You have 4 seconds, so you could technically, like, I can deep breath here, I can walk for a few seconds, give them time to use that gap closer, and then I pour it back and then I'm chilling. All right. And I deep breath and then just do it again, man. So much mobility that could just win games, save games, all that kind of stuff. So just really quick recap on the actual amount of stuff that you have to utilize. One, you have a slow. Don't forget you have a slow. You have your blue spells. So Azure Strike. Sometimes I'll be running around. I'll just spam Azure Strikes as I'm trying to kite. Disintegrate as well, but Disintegrate does cost you essence. So just be a little bit cautious on that regard. You have 2 hovers and time spiral potentially if you're running it. You best be running double hover and fast hover, I would say. I don't feel like there's no reason not to run those. And then also don't forget so you have those 2. You have your hover, obviously, is, you know, giving you a lot of speed. Double jump increases your speed as well when kiting. So I have a little thing here. This white numbers here is my movement speed currently, right? So if I'm just walking normal at 103, if I double jump, I'm at 79. So if you're kiting, you want to be spam space barring. Being able to just get those double jumps, because you'll run faster than somebody kiting you, and then, you know, you combine that with like a double jump into a hover. Now you're just out, man. Eventually, once we get level 70, I personally like to run this as well. So there's another 10% increased speed. So you have those mobilities, and then also you have rescue and verdant embrace. Okay, so sometimes I've even used verdant embrace, as you might see in some of these games. I use verdant embrace as like a way to run to my teammate and just to get myself out of trouble, regardless if I need the healing or not. Being able to use it as a a mobility ability is just phenomenal. And then lastly, we have rescue. So rescue is obviously, you know, you use it to move teammates around, but there's a lot of times where I'll use it for myself. Okay, so like let's say for example here, this is my teammate here and I'm over here, I'm getting my guy's this guy's training me. I might like run over here and then like rescue myself behind that pillar or something like that. And I don't know, I know I don't need to move him, but the point of it is to move myself and then also to give me that 30% shield. So that's another use of that as well. So that's the kind of your entire mobility. And then also don't forget your racials as well. You have a knockback and then a knock up. So like knocking somebody up, and then your roots. Sorry, and your roots. I think that's it. I think I covered everything there. Yeah. Okay, so let's do a game example for you guys to kind of a run through. This was a pretty intense game. This is a DH preservation mirror here. This is a viewer playing with a viewer of mine, and we lost twice into these guys, and this time we actually won. But just show you some stuff, because this DH is going to be training me the entire game. Just to show you guys. So definitely make sure you're utilizing your root. I rooted a little bit too close. He was able to get the stun into the eye beam off. He's going to hunt. For some reason, I don't know why every DH does this. I mean, I don't know DH. Maybe there's a reason it does this, but they always backflip, whatever the thing is called, retreat, and before they hunt. So I'm always keeping an eye out for that. I try to get away as far as possible. Okay, he comes in with a hunt. We're gonna have to Obsidian Scales, Renewing Blaze there, just to kind of mitigate some damage. Verdant Embrace myself. This is actually a pretty sick chrono loop too. I've been using a lot of more chrono loop lately. Let me sneak this back just a little bit here. Maybe using chrono loop a little bit more, and then using it on anytime somebody. Think of it like an offensive clone. Like anytime I would think. I'm trying to think to myself, when would I offensive clone here? That's what I'm using chrono loop. So it's really been nice into Evokers, Mistweavers on Light Cocoon, and it actually works through Tranquility for Wrestle Druids. Fun fact. Okay, so I know he gets low here. I'm expecting him to pop a big defensive, so I chrono loop him. I actually chrono looped him a little bit too low. I should have been a little bit quicker on that, but you know, he gets pulled back. He still drops 50% of his health. So that chrono loop was essentially 50% of his health. So you can kind of get a nice little offensive toolkit out of that. I pop my badge and my boot of covenant, try to play a little offensive. I do miss out on the deep breath, but I got the fire breath off. And this is me playing extremely aggro, by the way. Disintegrates off. Okay, in between that, we go. This is funny. We actually both press rescue at the same time. It actually worked out because they ended up coming back. Okay, so we're dying here. We were forced out to use the Emerald Communion. My health dropped to about 1,000 probably there, I think. And Time of Need saved me. Make sure you guys always running that talent, by the way. When it comes back to its kiting here, we want to try to get sleepwalks when we can. Hover over, going to try to get the sleepwalk. He's going to kick me. I go for the fire breath just because I can. And, you know, always trying to just stay offensive, but also getting the healing off of it. Dream projection, time dilation. You have, I think, like 10 plus cooldowns you can utilize as an evoker, so make sure you're using them pretty often. Don't be super greedy. You have so many things to use. Okay, so this DH is just up my ass the whole game. Getting Dream Breath off when I get a chance. I end up Trinket, pop my Fleshcraft there. I instantly get kicked. I had to force a rewind, Echo again, Spirit Bloom, Echo again, and then go for reversions, Echo again, Verdant Embrace. You guys get the idea. Hover away, try to get a sleepwalk onto the DH. Looks like I do get it here. I go for the fire breath. He moves away. I did sneak it in there just a little bit on both of them there. Okay, Echo reversion myself. Echo again. Try to root the DH back here. Landslide, you can actually use it in any direction, so you don't have to be facing. You can just point your mouse in another direction. Another use of it. Try to ruin there. He reversed magic this, so he was able to get away from me, unfortunately. Echo reversion. Echo Verdant Embrace. Okay, and then just utilizing the hover, right? Especially if you're playing Unburdened. I think I'm playing Unburdened Flight here. He gets a hunt on me. We're kind of scared. We pop the Obsidian Scales Renewing Blaze. You can see on the bottom right. We get a reversion, Echo, and then I end up doing some reversion spam because I didn't have any Verdant Embrace stuff. I get kicked on green, not great. Get feared out. This is just not looking good. We get the Verdant Embrace luckily off here, and I try to use my thing offensively there. Dream Breath myself. Keep on running. I tried to rescue my guy over, but then I realized he was there. Okay, just trying to stay away from the DH and just play super offensive into these guys. Get sent again and getting beat up, but I do. This is like always the best opportunity to have is having reversions up, Dream Breath up, and then also an Echo ready to go. So out of your stun, you could potentially just pop the Verdant Embrace to keep yourself topped up there. Okay, pop my slow there. He's getting away. Dream projection. Get kicked on it. Doesn't matter. Echo again. Pop my boon to the covenant to actually top myself up there. I was trying to look for an opportunity to go for a deep breath. And then I think I use it as a port, right? Yeah, I use it to port back, get away from them. So using that recall, as you guys saw in the beginning of the video. Kiting around, just wreaking havoc on me, no pun intended. Go for the dream breaths whenever I get the opportunity to. Okay, their guy looks like he recovered. I use my rescue just to kind of keep the offensive pressure going. And also for kiting abilities to me, right? It's almost like a 30-yard charge for myself. Keep up dream breaths, keep up reversions, time delete on cooldown. Try to go for fire breaths in the meantime. He forced out Evoker Communion onto the Evoker on their team. Using Fleshcraft to get kicks. Able to just spirit build myself up. So just really trying to take advantage of any opportunity I have to get a cast off. And when I do want to get a cast off, do whatever you can to get kicked on a different school, whether that be a disintegrate or a fire breath or a living flame on purpose, just so you can get those big green heals off, because those green heals are going to be the killers. Okay, we popped off NS fire breath there. Reversion, Echo again, Verdant Embrace. We get a little bit sus here because we get to hunt. What do we pop on the hunt? Obsidian Scales, Renewing Blaze once again. Okay, kiting out the best I can. Time Spiral, leap again. And then root him back there. We actually finish off the Evoker on that. Probably could have used Time Spiral a bit more. I think that was the first time I used it that game, if I'm not mistaken. Knock him away. This game is over, but I just want to still show you because this DH just kept running, man. Another hover off, Echo, popping reversions. Echo again, Spirit Bloom. Echo again, Verdant Embrace, Emerald Communion. Just constant rotation. Please take advantage of how many freaking cooldowns you have, and use that to your advantage to be able to do. I end up chrono looping this, I think, right? I chrono loop. So chrono loop is also a great kiting technique as well. Look what happens here. I run all the way across the map, gets ported back to the other side. So chrono loop is also a great defensive in that regard. It is dispellable, so just be aware of that. But you can use it as like a kiting ability as well, which I've actually used that quite a few times. For them kiting away and stopping it, or them training me and I'm running away. But yeah, I think that's about it here. I think we're gonna kill him here in just a second. This guy was living forever, man. But that was the game on that. So about 2,200 rating on that game. So this was a phenomenal game. We did get their buckets whooped twice by them, but we came out victorious at the end of the day. I've been cranking down on the rating too on the Evoker, so having it so much fun playing it. That's all we got for today, guys. So in the end, make sure you're really utilizing all your toolkit, your hovers, your recalls, your chrono loops, your slows, your wing buffets, your rescues, all that kind of stuff, so that you are able to kite effectively and landslide to root. You are just so freaking mobile, and there's no class that I don't feel like I absolutely can't live into. DH is probably the hardest, and that was DH. All right, so you guys can do it. So thanks for watching again. Make sure you like, subscribe, and let me know if anything else, any other tips you want to learn about Evoker yourself, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.